I think that self-preservation is often misconstrued as kissing someone's ass. I believe it's smart, emotional intelligence to learn who you can push and who you can't.
Somebody going to cue me, or do I cue myself?
Cue yourself.
Okay. All right, we are back with another episode of Let's Talk Off Camera, so let's get talking. Ever since we interviewed Oprah, I can't stop saying it with my Oprah voice.
I love the Oprah voice.
It just gives and gives.
I can watch that social media clip over and over again of her talking about it.
Let me tell you something. Very rarely, not since Lola Consuelos, have I gotten that much feedback from people I know listening to my podcast.
And what was the feedback?
They just loved her. And it's so funny. These are people who are our peers.
Yeah.
And they had forgotten Oprah's origin story.
Wow.
So, Jan, good on you and good on your sons for not knowing Oprah other than Oprah the billionaire, because people in our group who should know better have forgotten.
And if you missed that episode, Albert does an excellent Oprah impersonation himself.
He does.
But shocking, I didn't know that Albert also does a great Andy Cohen, which I just heard.
God, I
You
should listen
do?
to this go on. It's all this chatter.
Kelly!
What? Do it
I
again.
was talking about Oprah. I'm going to talk about Andy at some point. But we all do that. Kelly does it too. It's not that hard to do.
None of us are doing Andy, not even Andy. We are all doing Kristen Johnston.
Right. That's the
to
exact.
be clear, we are all,
Sweetie.
even Andy,
Sweetie.
are doing an impersonation of Kristen Johnston. Okay? She is the originator of all of our collective voice. Okay, sweeties? Guys, Bravo fans, God, we have so many Bravo fans. Yes. And these girls deliver. People are endlessly fascinated by the Real Housewives. And today we are talking to our guest who wrote the book, literally, on going from a bad Mormon to a good time girl. She's proof that even if you're excommunicated, you can still be divine. That's right. We are talking with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's iconic Heather Gay. You know, Jake Shears from Scissor Sisters is downstairs right now preparing for his Madison Square Garden show tomorrow night. When this airs, I don't know, but it will have passed. But he is the biggest Salt Lake City fan. And he has an event to do right now, or he would be here because he's dying to co-interview Heather Gay.
You should give him the Zoom link.
I know. I actually should. You're right. Season 6 is kicking off this week. So I can't believe it's 6 seasons. I'm shocked by that. I feel like it's been 3 seasons.
It's been good.
Yeah, it's really good. What do you think Heather's going to bring us today, Jan?
She's really good at talking about the girls. To be honest, she really drops some tea about all of them. So I think it'll be fun to be a little dishy with her. The thing about this one that's so interesting is the whole aspect of the Mormons, because as much as I know about them and I actually learn about it, these women are drinking on camera. They're drinking. It's wild. How is this allowed?
It's wild to me. I don't really understand it. I think I know a little bit about the Mormon Church. Not really. I know a couple of things because many years ago, Mark did this incredibly funny, brilliant TV show called Alpha House, where he played a Republican senator.
So good.
And one of the characters, Matt Malloy's character, played a Mormon senator. And there was lots of Mormon, and Amy Sedaris played his wife, and they were the Mormon couple, and they were, it was brilliant the way it was portrayed, but some of the terminology, I would always, ask the showrunners, is that true? Is that really a thing? And they were like, oh yeah, no, this is all true. Every, the term soaking, we'll get into all of that with Heather, but there's a lot of sexual loopholes. There's loopholes all over that people find a way.
Well, when I was talking to her just to get this all set up, We were just like, I was just, because I'm a fan, I just started asking some questions.
Yeah, right.
But she was saying how like the further she's been away from it, the more cult-like she feels like it is, which is interesting because she was very involved in this church. But I'm sure we'll get into it with her.
I feel like with any organized religion, and I say this as a practicing Catholic, and I'm very happy with my religion, but I feel like any organized religion can be, what's the word I'm looking for? If you have the mindset, you can turn any religion. Any religion can be turned in the wrong way if it's not practiced correctly, I think. In other news, there's so much going on in this house.
Oh my God.
Guys, if you listen to this here podcast, you have been following a lot of our journeys around here. And I've got a person who, if you're a regular listener of this podcast, you probably know. I'm not going to name names because it's not my story to tell. It's her story to tell. But she is downstairs in our guest room right now as we speak, recovering from her Dr. Rosenberg facelift.
Well, I have booked her. She's going to come on and tell her story.
She's going to come on and tell her story?
She's going to tell her story.
How good does she look?
She looks amazing.
It's incredible.
He's an artist. He's a true artist.
I thought I was walking in to have to do the fake, oh my God, you look amazing. But she literally looked amazing. And that's 24 hours later.
Yesterday, she arrived here fresh out of the surgery suite. And I could not believe how amazing she looked.
It's crazy.
It's also, Mark and I get very excited. It's like having a new baby in the house. I don't know, like I woke up extra early this morning and he's like, did you go down and check the baby? He's like, did you check on the baby? And I'm like, no, the baby has a nurse. Like, I don't want to be in the way. You know what I mean? Like, the baby does have a nurse. We have a baby nurse in the house too, with the baby. But yeah, she looks great and she's in such great spirits. She's
so happy.
She's so happy.
It's an outpost.
It's an outpost. It's a surgical recovery center.
Yes.
My guest bedroom.
Yes.
It is a surgical recovery center.
I mean, I went in. I'm like, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Perfectly fluffed pillows, holding her in the right position, an array of medical supplies, a bell. I mean, the bell to ring for, and then a nearby nurse to come in.
Nurse comes in.
I want that bell.
I think.
Even if it rings nobody, I want the bell.
Nurse Lori was going to throw me and all of us out today because the amount of times she had to wrap and unwrap patient X's face and head to show all of us. She was like, okay, you're really not supposed to be talking this much.
But like, no joke, 24 hours later, she could literally go out to dinner right now and you wouldn't think
she
twice.
could.
Like,
she could go out to dinner right now.
It's wild.
She wouldn't eat anything.
No.
She wouldn't eat anything.
I think you just gave away who it is.
Yeah.
Well, she's ready.
Oh,
so let's
is?
make it happen. Okay.
Hi, Heather. You look amazing. You look incredible.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Wait, so Jan tells me you're shooting. What else are you shooting?
Yeah, we're doing a documentary with the same people that did the Leah Remini, like Scientology and the Aftermath. It's that team, and we're doing it. It's not Heather Gay and the Aftermath, but it's about kind of Mormonism.
Oh my God, you are so getting banished from the celestial kingdom. Are you afraid of that, being banished from the celestial kingdom?
I used to be, but now I hope to be banished because I do not want to be there with the people.
So I'm Catholic, and Catholics, we're afraid of burning in hell. So if you're banished from the celestial kingdom, is that the same as burning in hell?
No, we Mormons give everybody 3 chances. You have celestial, terrestrial, telestial, and then outer darkness, which would be equivalent to burning in hell. But we just believe you're floating in eternal blackness with no progression and no hope or joy or no family. So pretty much burning in hell.
Right. It sounds like Catholic light, doesn't it, Albert?
Yeah. Exactly. It's like George Clooney in Gravity.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
With no protective
floating
gear.
away from Sandra Bullock.
From any woman his own age. Yeah.
Any woman his own age, right. Exactly. Very funny. So both of your books, Bad Mormon and Good Time Girl, exposes a lot that goes on at LDS. Were there any parts of the books that you were afraid of revealing? Were you afraid of backlash? Are Mormons not allowed to, are they not allowed to dole out backlash?
Well, we're not allowed to dole out backlash. And like part of our covenants are to like believe and honor and respect church leaders. And in order to go to the temple, you have to answer questions saying that you don't speak ill of them, you don't criticize them, that you are totally allegiant to the church leadership. And so yeah, I was terrified of all of it. When I first got the book offer, like someone sought me out and said, we think you should write this book. We think it should be called Bad Mormon, because there'd been a big spoof on me being the bad Mormon, like some people did like a little Broadway musical version of it. Like there's just some funny memes out there. So I remember seeing that email and seeing the title, and I like slammed the laptop down. Like I said, there's no way I would ever put my face with Bad Mormon in front of it. Like I could never write an expose about the church. I could never reveal anything because I was just so entrenched and just still so loyal. Right. But then just, things happened, fame mostly, fame and independent income.
Independent income, big one.
But, to keep it, but my dad also passed away, and that kind of opened up a different, just a different
You don't have the fear of disappointing your parents once they've passed away.
Yeah, and I just knew he loved being Mormon. It was like his pride and joy, I think. Who knows? Because Mormons wouldn't say how they really felt about it. But I just felt like I wanted to say it. The biggest part that was hard for me to write was the temple ceremony, because we make vows in the temple that we'll never reveal any of it, or will basically disembowel and cut our throats. So you're not allowed to ever retell what we wear or what we do. And I have friends that have been in the church their whole lives but haven't been to the temple, and their families all go to the temple weekly. They're friends, they're churchgoers, and they still never knew what went on in there. Ever.
No kidding.
Yeah, it is so secret. It is the biggest kept secret in the Mormon church. Like, until I went and physically saw everyone dressed like that and the things we did as a lifelong member, I wasn't a return missionary. I was leaving on a mission. I had no idea. It is a shell shock for every member.
Can you give me an idea of what people are wearing?
Yeah, absolutely. We wear head to toe white, but then we wear a stark Kelly green, fig leaf apron over our loins, and we veil our faces. The men wear these little paper caps that are tied to their shoulder with a string to remember that you're fettered to God. You wear priesthood robes and nylons and slippers, and everyone's dressed head to toe in white except for when we put on our priesthood aprons. And then we do rituals. We do secret handshakes. We do tokens. We do secret rites of passage, and we do oral ritual and prayer, like with hand motions in mass.
Oh, that's the oral ritual. I conjured up a whole other thought in my head.
Well, probably is less weird.
Yeah.
What you thought of.
So what do you think about, like, there are always these comparisons, because there's been so many television shows and there's been so many like reality shows about Mormonism, and there's always like this undercurrent that it could be, in some people's eyes, cult-like. Do you think it's cult-like?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And it was much more so in the leaving of the church that I can now say cult-like or cult-ish. It's still like chokes my throat to say the church is a cult, because that was the one. It's like worse than see you next Tuesday to call it that, It's the one C word that.
But that's not all of it. Is it just like, is it parts of it? Is there like, are there factions of the church, or is it the church in its entirety?
I mean, it's the church in its entirety. It's the normal soccer moms, Americana. That church is. We are zealots. If you want to call us a church, then we are religious zealots.
That's what the word I was looking for, zealots. Heather just came up with the word before you logged on. I was like, what's it called when people take a religion and they take it to an extreme? And because I was saying, like, a lot of religions, whether you practice them or not, can be, if you are a zealot, turned into something bad. And a lot of religions, if they're just followed by the letter of the church, whatever church it is quite good. But you would say in general, LDS is more of what you're describing.
I think that the church requires a level of devotion that is equivalent to the most zealot sects of religions that you can think of, like Orthodox Hasidic Jews, like fundamentalist Mormons. We wear all of our devotion on the inside. We look so normal and mainstream, and what we do on the surface is normal and mainstream, but what we do in secret and sacredly, and the inclusivity of the church and the secrecy of the church, no one would realize how absolutely allegiant we are to the church leadership, to the reputation of the church, and to, just allegiance to this institution. And we frame it as to God, but it's much more segmented than that.
When you bump into former church members, like people that you used to know, do they shun you? Do they come after you? Have you seen any of them?
I mean, yes and yes. I live in Salt Lake City.
Right.
I run two businesses. I run a business with two locations. So we have two opportunities for my customers are Mormons. My best friends from high school are still devout Mormons. My family is all devout Mormons.
So what do they say about you behind your back, do you think?
Horrible really? Things. If they discuss me at all.
Right. Okay. Got it.
To my face, they are kind and wonderful, and then but I'm not invited over for Sunday dinner.
Right. Okay. Got it.
But they won't read the book. They won't watch the show. They won't acknowledge anything that's any value that I've garnered from being on TV or from writing the books, whatever, that holds no currency where I live.
But they've all watched the show and they've all read the book. Yeah, I bet
they would not.
No, I know they would not. They've kept it inside with all of the other stuff. I'm certain.
You're great at keeping secrets, but
yes. Yeah, right. And here's the other thing that fascinates me, and this is when it comes to any time not just Salt Lake City, but any show where there are court cases involving Mormon people, any TV where there's a Mormon family, there seems to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's a lot of money there, right? Am I mistaken?
Well, I think there's the whole range within the church. I think now they quote 17 million members, but my experience was the Mormons I knew were very successful, very attractive, very wealthy, very kind, service oriented, but beautiful people, beautiful, successful, wealthy people everywhere you look.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the rich religion, Jan.
Okay.
The church is worth $260 billion. They'd never.
Wow.
It's a huge institution.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So we want to get into the terms, Jan.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Number one is, and I know this term from way before I had any Real Housewives of Salt Lake City in my life, before your books came about. My husband was on a TV show a long time ago, and two of the characters were Mormon, and their young adult daughter and her boyfriend started soaking.
Yes.
Okay, explain to our listeners what soaking is.
Okay, soaking would be if the penis were a sponge and the vagina were a bowl of water. You just place it in and no motion, no movement. It's insertion with no movement, no thrusting, just soaking.
Okay, isn't that when we were virgins and we would just say, "Oh, but it was just the tip; it doesn't count"? Isn't that the same thing?
It's just the tip,
but it's the whole thing. Inches. Yeah, it's just the tip, but with the entire penis, Jan.
Okay, but then Roz. So we work with the producer Roz, who said she grew up with Mormons, and she said that people would jump on the bed to then make it move, but you weren't doing anything bad because you weren't the one moving it.
I do not have personal experience with the jump humping, as it's called. Jump humping.
So does that require a third person in the church?
It does. Or a coin-operated bed.
Okay, got it.
So I think that is a bit of an urban legend because I went to BYU. I was surrounded by Mormons that we were reporting on each other. Like if my friend was sleeping with her boyfriend and I didn't tell on her, then I risked being thrown out of school too. So I don't think jump humping is feasible within Mormon youth. I just don't think anyone would do it for someone else.
But if you're a girl and a boy and you're supposed to be chaste until your wedding. Mm-hmm. Does soaking not violate that in any way?
I mean, I'm pretty sure soaking violates it in every way.
All right.
But the big way that matters is if you can tell your husband that you're a virgin, and we kind of go back to that archaic, maybe your hymen's never been broke. I don't know. I mean, the mental gymnastics of purity culture are difficult to. Don't put it all on me. Kelly.
I am not. I agree with you 100%. Okay, Jan is
what
now
about the soft swinging.
Yeah, Jan is now holding up words to me. Okay, Jan is
what
now
about the soft swinging.
Yeah, Jan is now holding up words to me. Soft swinging.
Okay. Soft swinging is, I think it is a part of our culture, absolutely. Mostly because you have kids that have no sexual experience, get married really young, and they've only ever been with one person. And then they're older, they have some success, they have some, freedom of thought and agency, and they want to see what's out there, but they don't want to leave their marriages. They don't want to leave their faith. They don't want to leave the church, and they definitely don't want to be an adulterer. So they dabble, they dip their toes in. And I think it's a way to maintain, both worlds.
And so when there's soft swinging involved, is it like everybody's involved? Like, is it an agreement between the husband and wife, or is it usually just like a secretive thing?
What I've learned from not personal, but people, is that it's an agreed upon thing. But I have heard of some tragedies where the husband has presented that he and the wife are interested. He starts an affair and she's like, I never signed up for any of this soft swinging crap.
So who in the cast is still in the church, and do you have discussions about it? Or it seems like it's very separate, very repressed,
Yeah, I learned season 1 not to talk about levels of Mormonism, although it's never left. But right. Lisa still identifies and attends, and her son Jack just got home from a mission. Okay. Brittany still goes to church and, identifies and believes. Whitney has left the church that we saw on the show. She left the church and then had her name removed, which is like a voluntary way to sever all ties. Mary, no. Who else is there? Bronwyn grew up Mormon, but doesn't identify as Mormon anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm just speaking from what I colloquially think I know.
Yeah. Let's talk Salt Lake City. How were you originally cast?
Lisa Barlow knew about me, and I had a med spa business, and we really had a young kind of clientele. So she thought I would know a lot of people that might be candidates for Housewives. I kind of thought I was like a facilitator, I didn't think I was going to ever really be in the running. Yeah. And so it was kind of a surprise to me as we kept going through, iterations of people. And then I still kept showing up on the list.
And so besides Lisa, did you know any of the other women?
Yes, Jen was a customer. I knew Whitney, obviously. She's my third cousin. I did not know Mary yet. I had met her briefly. I did not know Meredith. And then, so I knew Whitney, Jen, and Lisa.
When you decide to do this show, what is the conversation like with your family, your friends, your ex? What's the conversation?
Zero conversation.
You just did it.
I did not tell us. I could have told you how the conversation would go.
Don't do it.
Yeah, of the world, nothing good could come of it. You'll risk excommunication, good standing, everything you've worked for, your salvation, your hope. So I didn't tell a single soul until it was set in stone. And then I told my bishop, and he told me not to do it. And if I did insist on doing it, to make sure that if I was at any public event, that I carried around a glass of milk so that no one would think that I was drinking. Meanwhile, I was already drinking.
Yeah, so but what was in the milk? Was it Kahlua and milk?
It's a White Russian.
Yeah. White Russians look like milk on camera, do they not?
They absolutely do. But
Yeah.
I remember flying home from like my final interview in Burbank, and I write about this in the book, that the only question I thought about, the only thing that kept me from doing, I wanted with all my heart to do it. I dreamt of something, an opportunity like this, of reality television. I grew up on it. I mean, it was like I'm going to get emotional, like a dream come true. But I just thought, I can't do, like, I'll get excommunicated. Am I willing to get excommunicated by going on TV and drinking and saying I'm sleeping with people and I'm not living as a Mormon? And that was the decision. It was the church was my final decision maker. And I just said that I chose something bigger than the church and it was only because it was bigger than the church that I was able to, I think, to let go and leave.
But initially when you were walking the line, were you like, was there a moment in your head where you were contemplating leaving the church before? Was there any moment?
No, never.
Okay.
I was going to fake it till I was going to go till my dying day and drink secretly with my friends.
Right. So did you think when you joined the cast, okay, I can do this. I can have both worlds. I can really experience this level of fame and notoriety and live my life in a way that is true to who I am. And I can also maintain my standing in the church. Did you think that you would somehow?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought through all of that. I thought, I'll wear clothes that look like I'm wearing my sacred garments. I won't drink on camera. I will tell in my confessionals, I'll walk the line. I did not ever think I could live authentically, but I thought I could possibly have the best of both worlds and be on television and have this opportunity as a housewife and still not betray the image or reputation of my church and my family. And because I knew that I could pull, and the reason that I chose to leave the church is because I knew that I could pull the wool over the church's eyes and my church leaders, like I could fake it with them. But I had watched enough reality television to know that you cannot fake it with the viewing audience. Right. And the last thing I wanted to do was go on TV as a representation of something I didn't even believe in. I mean, I would have done it if I thought I could have managed it, but I knew that the audience would have seen through it. And that was something I didn't want to deal with.
Can you explain to Albert what sacred garments are and how on earth do you wear them underneath some of the get-ups that everyone wears on the show?
Well, none of my castmates wear their sacred garments. And I'd like to point out that very rarely, all the other shows you see on Mormonism, the people are not wearing them, even though they're supposed to be. So I'm just going to call them out right now.
Wow. That is a breaking news, Jan.
Yeah. You can't call yourself a Mormon wife if you're not wearing your garments.
Right. How big are the garments? How like oppressive are the garments?
So the garments are polyester or cotton or mesh, but they're basically a t-shirt with boob cups and then bike shorts. So it's to cover your shoulders and your clothing to your knees. So you can't wear anything above your kneecap, and you really shouldn't show your shoulders. Now, they just recently released a new version for hot climates that allow you to wear a tank top. So now in Salt Lake City, there's this huge underground railroad of secret garments coming from like Barbados to the women of Salt Lake City, and people are trafficking garments. They're getting garments from the distribution centers in hot climates, bringing them to Salt Lake City and distributing them to active members here who are now on the streets of Salt Lake City wearing their garments in a tank top version. This is something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime, garments that showed the shoulder, but the time is now. What a great time we're living in.
I blame you. I think you've done a lot to like move the church forward into the modern times. And as you're describing the garments, I'm listening to it and I'm like, gosh, I wear Mormon undergarments all the time.
Under everything you've ever wanted
Truly
to wear,
everything.
Elasticized bike shorts when you're already chubby and you're trying to wear skinny jeans. I mean, that was my reality. I felt like a segmented centipede, but I still wore them every day. And it's like wearing an outfit underneath your outfit. There's waistbands, and they got so cumbersome on my mission. I was a missionary in the south of France and I had to wear a dress every day. So I started buying the one pieces that don't even have a separate top and bottom. They're just a one piece unit with a butt flap when you need to use the bathroom.
Oh my God. Where is you know what, Jan?
You want one?
I got to get my hands on that. Yeah, I got to get my hands on that.
It is very difficult to get your hands on garments, and probably even more difficult to get your hands on one-piece butt flap garments.
Right, especially like if you're not Mormon, right?
Yeah, you have to show a barcoded card at the distribution center that links with church headquarters that shows that you're in good standing and able to purchase them.
Oh my gosh. You don't think we could
would
do
not
like
be in good standing.
No, I'd be in terrible standing, but do you think like my family priest would be able to broker a deal with like
Doesn't sound like it.
the bishop? You think?
I don't think so. So you have to give 10% of your income, Kelly, too.
Oh
so
my
if you're
God.
willing to do that, we'll hook you up with some garments.
God, I'm already giving 10% to the Catholic Church. I mean, I'm being bled dry, and forget bar mitzvah years with Judaism. I'm being bled dry by churches.
It's true. It's true.
Okay, so let's get into some of the girls. Tell me about. I'm just going to ask. I'm going to name a name, and you give me like what your relationship is currently, where you see it going. You know, if you see it going nowhere, say, you know, feel free to say pass. But I'm going to start with the big guns. Jen Shaw.
Okay. Pass.
No. But I have questions. We can't just do a full-on pass. Okay.
Have you
Kelly said I could.
Yeah.
She said, gave me options.
Kelly does not get to
but
decide that.
you said I couldn't get an undergarment, so all deals are off.
Okay.
So, like, have you spoken to her since she went to prison?
No.
Has anyone?
I heard Meredith had.
And did you hear like what she heard? Did you hear?
No, Meredith, she kept it she just said it was a quick call.
And are you worried? Because she's supposed to get out in 2026, right? October?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
October
so that's
2026, I heard.
And let me tell you, if it's one thing I know about time, it flies. So are you worried about bumping into her when she gets out?
No. Unless she comes to Beauty Lab, I don't think I'll see her.
The black guy. Can we just get into it for a minute?
Jan, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still. Did you protect her to that degree because you already knew she was in trouble? Like, what was the purpose of protecting her to that degree?
Well, I was protecting myself too because I didn't know how I got it, and just because she said, I think I gave that to you. Like I didn't have proof of it or anything other, and if she had, it happened. You know what I mean? Yeah. I woke up with it. I was afraid they had footage of something. I didn't know what they had. You have to consider, like, you wake up with cameras on you 24/7, and I had a black eye. It was terrifying, and I was protecting myself and protecting her because, I mean, I didn't have much to go on, honestly.
Yeah,
it was
you guys were just that drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen, have you ever been that drunk where you've, like, browned out or blacked out?
Yeah, but I feel like I would remember if someone punched me in the eye.
Not necessarily.
I feel like I would too.
Yeah.
So that's why I assumed it had to have been, 1,000 other ways. But I think I would remember anything that gave me a black eye to that extreme. I thought it was some sort of infection of sorts. It was horrible.
First time I had tequila, Jan, I fell off a boardwalk. And I did not realize I fell off the boardwalk. Okay. So Monica, yes. Let's go to Monica Garcia. Have you seen Monica since the reunion?
No, I have not seen her since the reunion.
Were you shocked that Whitney was still talking to her after she was exposed?
Yeah, I was shocked that anyone would keep talking to her just because it was felt like such a deceit and such a deception, and it felt like it affected all of us equally.
Yeah, I don't understand these moles coming into shows. It seems like an epidemic now. It seems like people are now watching the show, specifically implanting themselves into the show. I feel like people need to be hooked up to lie detector tests before they can get on these shows now, because I don't know, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like it was, the snake eating its head to like bring someone on that had only come on as, you know what I mean? Like there was no world that she would have been in our world and been our friend. And how are we supposed to process friendship with someone that was never our friend to begin with, was literally got there on making fun of us. It didn't make sense to me how I was supposed to move on from that.
And she said that your hairstylist was involved. Do you believe your hairstylist was involved?
Yeah, my hairstylist admitted to me that she was involved, and that's how the whole thing came out. Like, she had a full mea culpa, full confession, and apologized, revealed everything. And it was like, so we esteemed her for being that forthcoming, and like, that was something that Monica, still refused to do.
Do you still let her do your hair?
No, I have a totally new team.
Good girl. Because that's a bridge too far. Let's talk about Bronwyn.
Okay.
You guys had a rough start, to say the least. Do you see a path to friendship with her?
Oh, absolutely. Bronwyn and I think, are in a great place now and throughout the season. We fight about things that are remnants from the season before, but I don't know how to say this and keep my job, but I really love these women. I love fighting with them, but I love getting along more. And so when it's good, I want to keep it good. I am a people pleaser. I am a go along to get along girl. And so I feel bad that it started out so rough with Bronwyn, but I didn't get invited on the cast trip. There were things that bugged me. There were things that I felt I had been hurt, but like, I've worked through them all. And now I'm ready just to be a good time girl and enjoy everybody.
Where was the cast trip?
This year, we had a cast trip to Greece in honor of our Angie K, which was phenomenal. And we also went on a big trip to Canouan, which is a little island in the British Virgin Islands. Yes. And on Below Deck, we did a crossover collab with Captain Jason and his whole Below Deck crew. And it was a luxury yacht, and it was amazing.
Jan?
Okay, I have a question. Because in so many of these reality shows, like, the marriages don't survive. Like, do you really think that her marriage is going to survive from this? Like, Todd doesn't seem like he's cut out for this.
I just am a girl's girl, and I can't believe I just said that. The truth is, like, if the marriage doesn't work out, run for the hills, Bronwyn. Like, your life is going and great, and husbands that can't support women in this role, I think it's very telling. And I just think Bronwyn is strong in her own sense, whether she's married to Todd or not. And I think she'll be fine no matter what happens. I don't know. I never thought I'd get divorced, so I would never predict for any of them.
What about Mary Cosby? How is she doing? What about Mary Cosby? How is she doing?
Mary is phenomenal. She's a new Mary Cosby. We saw a little bit of it last season. Yeah. You see even more of it this season.
How's her son? I was like so concerned and upset for her. And I just I feel like I went through a roller coaster of emotions with this woman.
I did too, Kelly. And as a mom of teenagers, it's just that precarious time. And I just felt for him, and I felt for Mary. And she says he's doing great. And I hope and pray he continues to.
So her church is separate from the Mormon church? Like, hers it's a total, what is that?
Yeah, it's a totally different thing.
So what religion is that?
She's Pentecostal, and she's the minister, and we get to see a little bit of Mary in her element again this season. We go and visit Mary's church.
What does that mean?
Pentecostal?
I don't know that.
That's
Pentecostal,
real, it is...
Spirited. I would say spirited.
It can heal you. Sometimes they speak tongues. Sometimes they use snakes.
They believe in the gift of tongues, the gift of healing, the gift of prophecy.
Yes.
And do you find that to be cult-like at all?
I mean, I'm a sucker for religion of any sorts. And I think I don't really feel like it's cultish. I feel like what makes a cult is sometimes elaborate costumes and secret ritual. Not to point my finger at the Mormons, but I don't see that from any faction of the Pentecostal church at all. It's pretty transparent. Mormons also believe in the gift of tongues. It's one of our articles of faith. And so we have it was just in the last, I think, maybe 20 years or maybe 30 years that we went from speaking some weird form of Aramaic in the temple, like where we said not made up words, but like speaking in tongues, rituals and chants. It was a little bit before my time, but it was of my parents' generation. So, I mean, you're talking to a girl that, even though it looks like we come from mainstream, we come from, we believe the weird stuff.
Yeah, no, listen, I can't talk. I can't talk. You know, I mean, Albert and I talk about it all the time because all religion has something in it that is practically unbelievable unless you're a believer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what I would cling to in my youth. Like, well, it's Virgin Mary's a crazy story, and we all believe that, you know? So why can't I believe golden plates and Joseph Smith?
We saw that Jared Osmond slid into Mary's DMs.
Yes. Truth.
What do you think about that?
I mean, Kelly, you're going to be hard-pressed to get me to say anything but pure adoration about anyone with the last name Osmond. I grew up
no, I understand.
revering them.
You're too young, but I religiously, pardon the pun, watched the Donnie and Marie show. Like, that was my jam. I had... I didn't have, but my cousin had the Donnie and Marie dolls when they were figure skaters, and it was amazing. And I talked about it on the show. And if you go into the basement, Albert, in the drawer, in the bedroom down there, in the top drawer, an audience member of mine sent me the Donnie and Marie dolls in their matching figure skater costumes. Yes, it is down there because it's like, I will never take them out of the box. It means too much to me. And so I understand your reverence for any and all Osmonds, but I'm just curious.
I feel it in my soul. And Donnie and Marie, when I was a missionary, we were in the MTC. We weren't allowed to have secular music or anything. I mean, I was studying French for 9 weeks, 12 hours a day. And Donnie and Marie on Christmas Eve came to the Missionary Training Center in Provo and performed Christmas carols and danced. And like, that was like the biggest moment of my life until I met Andy Cohen.
From Donnie and Marie to Andy Cohen.
So I'm just absolutely enamored, and I of course see all of the things about Jared and why, and they're all well deserved. You know, he knows what he's out there doing, but I still just, you know, the legacy dies hard with me.
But how are you and Mary getting along? Because I feel like she seems to throw shade at you sometimes.
I love Mary. I think I'm not a threat to Mary. I enjoy Mary. She does throw shade, and I can take it. I don't know how to explain it. I don't take it personally that as much anymore because I don't know. I guess we have a friendship, you know, where there's a little bit of grace.
Well, Mary said that on Watch What Happened Live that you and Meredith kissed Lisa Barlow's ass. So let me ask you, what do you think about Lisa Barlow?
I think that self-preservation is often misconstrued as kissing someone's ass. I believe it's smart, emotional intelligence to learn who you can push and who you can't. And what, you know, I have some growing pains with Lisa this season, but I really, really have a camaraderie with her, and I enjoy her, and I like being around her sometimes and most of the time, but like we go through it, you know.
What is something that we, like the viewers, that you don't think the cameras capture about Lisa Barlow? Like, what are we missing? What don't we get about her?
I mean, what people might not believe is that she's exactly the same off camera as she is on. Like, there is no persona, and if it is a persona, it runs so deep that I've never seen anything otherwise. Okay. And I think that might be surprising to people because you think, how can it be? But it is.
You know, Jan's chin is on the desk.
Yeah. I can't believe that's who she is.
It's 100% who she is. I was just at an event with her. We were at the Lost Culturistas Cultures Awards, and we sat together the whole time. And she just is consistently herself. She just doesn't filter. If she doesn't know who a star is, she says, "Who is that?" She just doesn't she just kind of is always LB, Lisa Barlow. You can count on her to be consistent. And I like consistency. I just it makes me feel comfortable. Even if I'm mistreated, I just want to know what I'm going to get.
I happen to agree with you there. As long as somebody has a consistent personality, be it good, be it bad, be it happy, be it rotten, I feel the way you do, that I would rather have somebody who is miserable in my presence, but consistently miserable, than somebody that is all over the emotional spectrum all the time. That I don't like not knowing what I'm going to get.
I agree. And that's why it's harder for me to do these interviews specifically about the other housewives, because,
you're afraid I'm going to incite a war of some kind.
Yeah. I have this deep understanding and camaraderie with all of them, whether or not there's tension and I know that that's not good for television, but that is how I feel. We've been together now. You have to consider we have been together for 6 years. We just finished season 6.
So crazy.
And my whole life was transformed with these women. And without them, I would not be living the life I'm living. Without them, I would not. And they are all I have. I no longer can kiki with my Mormon friends. They don't know 90% of my life, and they don't want to know about it. And there are not a lot of women business owners that are have these same experiences that we have. We are all each other's got in Salt Lake City. And I think that makes us a unique friend group and possibly a unique franchise.
In reality TV, my favorite moment was the flipping of the table, right? Classic
New Jersey housewife.
Teresa
Giudice.
I feel like it was replaced by the hot mic moment. What do you think? What's your favorite Bravo moment? Yes, that was insane.
That was totally insane. And they have recovered from that and are now friends and thick as thieves, those two. So it just goes to show that the strength of female relationships.
But that is crazy. I mean, isn't it interesting how sometimes you can see, especially in the prism of reality TV, something to us, the audience, that may seem like a very small, insignificant thing, blows up, and friendships are ended and blown up, and there's many fatwas. It's just it's crazy what happens.
That was the perfect word, because it launched season 1 when I sent Lisa a thumbs up response to her text, and that's why we were at war for two plus years over a thumbs up text.
Exactly. So exactly my point. So it's something small, but something epic and monstrous and big and enormous and earth shattering, and then people move along and get right over it. It's always fascinating to me. So I want to talk about your dating life, because I got to tell you, you have never looked better. You are absolutely stunning. So there's got to be guys lining up.
There's no guys. No guys, but I thank you for saying that. First of all, it's a little bit of a jump scare and nice to hear. But I have not dated at all really since my divorce. I've been divorced 10 years, but it's because I've been in the trenches of motherhood, and I had 100% custody of my kids, and I had 3 daughters, and they were very young, and I had to raise them up to get them off to college. But I am now an empty nester. As of August 20th, I will be an empty nester.
Woo!
I shouldn't say date.
You're going to love it.
I'm soon to be an empty nester. And I am going to absolutely shift my focus to that maybe being the next chapter of my life, because I really thought that having a great love just wasn't going to be part of my story. I had pretty much an arranged marriage, and it ended tragically, and I've never really had a great love. But I met this lady at a dinner party, and she was 75, and she said she'd been with the love of her life for 15 years. And I thought, there's a chance for me. There is still an opportunity maybe that I'll meet someone. And I'm totally, for the first time in my life, I think, open to that. And I have to say, I think it's because I was so entrenched in what a mom does that I couldn't find any space to bring a guy into my home or to date and to be under that scrutiny. I had to just kind of compartmentalize, I think, to survive. But now that the girls are leaving, I'm really going to change my focus, and I'm excited about it.
I got to tell you, I admire that. I really do. I admire that you sacrificed. And I think, like, you know, especially you're raising little girls in your house, you don't necessarily want to invite some stranger into the house. I think you prioritize your children, and now they are succeeding. They're achieving all of their goals, and you put the work in. And on the flip side, you are a stone cold fox, and you're an empty nester stone cold fox. So you can literally, you're going to have guys, we're going to have to, Jan and I are going to have to form a perimeter at the house. We're going to have to form a perimeter. We're going to have to like have torches, maybe a couple of shotguns.
The soaking line is on the
left. We're going to have a soaking line. We're going to have a soaking line and a soft swinging line.
Whoever wants to be soaked.
Open for soaking.
Oh my God.
Heather, thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to talk to you. Appreciate you doing the podcast.
Kelly, when I heard about this opportunity, I jumped out of my chair. I am such an admirer of yours. I mean, Dan was saying that you guys have worked together for 25 years, and I was like, I've watched you guys work together for 25 years. And like, I've been watching you for 25 years, and you have been a fixture in my life, and like just such a, I don't know how to explain it. You're just who I became a woman with. So like, I just really love this chance to be on your podcast, and I can't believe I'm talking to you is really what it is. Like,
we feel the same way about you. We've only known you 6 years, but they've been 6 of the best years of our lives. Make sure, listeners, to watch the premiere of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, September 16th. Don't forget to pick up Bad Mormon and Good Time Girl. Heather Gay, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.
Talk soon.
Well, that's it, everybody. Well, okay, let me try one more time.
Go for it.
That's it. Can't wait to talk off camera with you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's Talk Off Camera with Kelly Ripa is a production of Melojo Productions. From Melojo, our team is Kelly Ripa, Mark Consuelos, Albert Bianchini, Jan Chalet, Seth Bronquist, Roz Therian, Devin Schneider, Michael Halprin, Julia Desch, and Team Radio Andy, Lisa Mantaneo, Scott Marlowe, Jake Getz.